everybody, Dave here in the workshop. New to you fishing. I finally went and did something I was thinking of doing for a while and got motivated to do it. I went to AliExpress and bought the cheapest long cast spool surf reel that I could find. Here it is. The box came in yesterday, a little damage to it. I've taken the reel apart and we're going to go through it and show you what you get for your $30. I didn't expect to get a spin fisher, which is understandable, I hope. And I got something that is usable, but it always going to come down to how long it's going to last and how do you take care of it, I think. So we're going to go through that. I'm going to pop up a picture of the ad so you know exactly the item that I bought online. I don't remember seeing this name when I bought it. Aoquisite. Let's take a second look at the features. We have lightweight, corrosion resistant, high modulus, machine cut brass pinion, superior line lay oscillating system, quick set anti-reverse, an extra drag system. Not sure what that means. I'm not sure what a few of these mean. Zero vibrative balanced rotor system and left-right interchangeable handle. Even though the box was damaged, there was no damage to the unit itself. Let's start with the spool. All metal spool, very Daiwa appearing on its construction, I must admit. I've pulled the retainer for the drag washers, and what you get is a felt and metal stack, 3 washers, 3 metal washers, 2 felts. So I'm not sure what's extra about that, and these washers are not stainless, so that will probably become an issue at some point. But it is an anodized aluminum spool, fairly lightweight. I like the spool, nice and beefy. AQ10000. I believe they had you saw the ad, but I believe it was an 8 and a 9000 available. I went for the largest capacity one. Handle. Just a mylarized plastic knob, steel shaft, threaded shaft on that. The handle's actually not bad. It's all anodized aluminum. The steel hex shaft, steel pin, has a very nice EVA knob. And I believe there's supposed to be, how many bearings in this? A lot. 18 plus 1 bearings, so I suspect there's probably 4 or 5 in the handle. You got to put them somewhere. So I actually do like the handle quite a bit. Big knob is fun. So those first 2 pieces are nice. The drag knob seems adequate. Metal plate, mylarized plastic. So you're going to have to keep it clean, otherwise that's going to start to bubble and peel like most of that kind of stuff does. There's a retaining nut on the rotor. Actually, the clicker stack is here, fairly straightforward. Again, very Daiwa looking. The rotor is not, this is not some sort of graphite composite, carbon fiber. It appears to be molded plastic. I looked for mold indicators of what type of plastic. There's nothing there. I pulled the side cover, which is again a mylarized piece of plastic, and so you've got the jack shaft and the return spring for the bail. That's fairly straightforward. Put that back on before I lose it. And it was greased in there, so that's encouraging to see that kind of thing. It's a hollow wire bail, so that's consistent with some of today's more modern styles. They are a little easier to bend, but this one wasn't bent and seems to be tripping fine and smooth. I see there was oil, in the in there, so that looks like it was decently made. To pull the case, you had a butt cover here held on by one screw. That screw is clearly steel. So I got out the test magnet, but all the rest of the 6 case, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 case screws holding the side cover on are actually stainless, so that's good. Checked them with my magnet. They have a very small amount of magnetism. That would be consistent with most stainless. This brass colored rotor nut is steel, however, so it's got some sort of brass looking finish on it. It is not brass. So once you pull the the butt cover and the side cover, you reveal the inner workings and remove the spool. So we have a one-way clutch buried in here. We have an open non-sealed bearing. It's well lubed. The main shaft is solid steel. That is, there's no stainless to that. We have the anti-reverse override technique of a lever on a through shaft, which comes all the way up to the top here, hits this little plastic piece, and that engages and disengages the rollers of the clutch. So I like that. It's fairly standard design. Little spring to provide tension here. That's all right. Well seated, decent looking spring. Steel spring. We have more open face bearings here. Open bearing on this side as well. We've got the brass pinion gear in there, and to be honest with you, the gears are pretty beefy. So I'm pleased to see that. It runs relatively smoothly, but there is not a lot of grease. There is some grease in there, and I think that's probably the number one thing we're going to do is pack this thing full of grease. And hopefully that'll help preserve the operation for a bit longer. So I'm not seeing any other, like on the crosswind gear, I don't see a bearing on that. I'm not going to pull the whole thing apart. I think you get the idea of what you're getting. All pot metal. Crosswind block, crosswind gear, main gear, brass pinion. I agree, that is a brass pinion. So fairly straightforward. Then there's a little steel guide block here that's down on the bottom that's guiding the edge of the crosswind up and down right here. That's holding the crosswind block in place. But overall, you know, it's the tolerances seem reasonable, and I didn't talk about the real body itself. Again, I'm looking for any kind of indicators of material, but it appears to be molded, straight molded plastic. ABS, probably. I'm seeing maybe a few little after molding, sanding or machining steps to the molded piece. This little insert is just heat staked into the cover. So most likely ABS, but I don't believe there's any graphite composite in there. So that's it. I'll put it all back together, show you the final look. I'm going to pack some lube in here, and I believe that I have a customer for this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask him if he'd be willing to give me a post-usage assessment, and so we'll try to include that at the end of the video as well. All right, hope you enjoyed this this quick look inside a $30 long cast spool surf reel. And yes, I see there's a roller bearing in the bail as well, bail roller. So that's also encouraging. Oh, I noticed maybe one other thing. Inside the rotor here, there's some sort of piece of metal glued in, maybe lead, maybe not, probably lead. Glued in. I think that's part of their zero vibrative balanced rotor system. So there it is, right there.
5 minutes later.
All right, here's the final reel, fully reassembled. I'm listening, I'm feeling, you know, how the gears are meshing. Anti-reverse is nice and firm. I'm not feeling a lot of play in either the handle or the rotor. Clicker on the spool's fine. The drag, it goes full lockdown. So I think this reel is fully usable. And if you keep the sand out of it and wash it vigorously after every usage, it may give you a nice low duty cycle reel, which for $30, that's probably about all you should expect. A couple of beach trips a year for Pompano, and I think it'll get the job done. Fire's fine. And it does have an auto tripping bail, which is actually a bit surprising.